Hello quilters, it's Marianne Fontana, and today I'm working on a project, my crossbody bag. And this is the way you see it. It comes with an adjustable shoulder strap. There's a front and a back pocket, a zipper, and it's fully lined. When you purchase the pattern, and it's available online at Etsy, or you may already have one if you have a kit, you will get templates to cut out the bag shape and the pocket, and then the rest are just strips, so it's easy. But if you have an AccuQuilt cutter, you can use the burp cloth die to make the pieces. Before you cut your pieces, you're going to fuse the back of the fabric for the main body part of the bag and also for the pockets. Using the template, you will cut 2 of the main fabric pockets. You will cut 2 in a lining fabric, and in this case I've used almost a blue-black batik material that I'm going to use because I like it because it's finely woven. You're going to cut 1 2.5 by 20-inch strip, and then you will cut 2 1.5-inch width of fabrics, and in this case I have chosen to use the same fabric as my main bag. And then you will need 1 zipper, and I use this in a coordinating color. And lastly, let's not forget the pockets. To make the pockets, you'll use the second template, which will be half. And if you have the AccuQuilt cutter, it's basically 6 inches across the bottom of the burp cloth die to make the pocket. And of course, when you're cutting the post, you would cut 1 burp cloth die, and you would cut it directly in half in order to get the same size pieces. The first thing you're going to do is take that 2.5 by 20-inch strip of lining fabric, fold it in half, and press it like you're making a binding strip. Next, take one of the pockets, wrong side facing you, and sew the binding on, leaving a little bit of space on the one side and raw edges together. And I'm using a dark blue fabric just because I want it to blend in. And you can string piece both pieces together, no reason why not. Just line it up. Next, you'll trim off the excess, just leaving a little bit, I like to call it wiggle room. And that's fine. And then you will take that one piece, here, fold the piece, and you'll press it. And you can go to the iron if you feel like it. I'm just going to finger press it. And I'm going to flip it over. And then I'm going to top stitch it down to the front. And for any of you who've seen my binding videos, this is exactly how I attach binding too. Just and then just trim off the 2 remaining pieces. Repeat that with the second one. Next step is take your 2 main pieces and put one of the finished pockets with the binding both are right sides up on top of each of the purses. Now, if you notice, I actually matched the colors. So this has the orange on this side and this has the blue. So I was kind of deliberate in that. And if you have stripes, you wanted to do one going one way and one going the other, that would kind of look cool too. Anyway, so now you're just going to pin this to keep it from shifting. And you'll do the same to the other, and then we're going to sew all the way around. I've switched to a walking foot just to make it easier to go through evenly all the layers. And I'm going to start at the top. I am going slightly less than 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to stitch all the way around. When I get to the pocket, I am going to backtrack over the binding just to secure it. And then I'll keep going all the rest of the way around, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. This is really just to keep everything in place, and we'll backtrack again. And it's as easy as that. Just do that with the other one as well. The next step is to take the 1.5 inch strips that you cut 2 of them, and you will sew them together and miter the corners. And I will just lay it right down into the corner here, and I'm going to sew to this corner. And once that's done, I'm going to trim the excess off, 1/4 inch, open it up, press the seams open. Once you've sewn the 2 pieces together, you then will need to fold each end in half, and then in half again. So it's actually like 4 layers, and it'll be folded, the raw edges are inside, and you will do that for the entire length. Once you've done that, you're going to have this long, thin cording. Now that's going to be your adjustable shoulder strap, and it's going to be your loops. You may not need this entire length. This is 2 widths of fabric, so this is 86 inches or so long, and if you're a short person, the straps may be too long. So I took it and I put it over my shoulder, and I pretended I had a bag on my hip, and checked the length, and then I added another 50% because I got to cut some for the loops, and I do want it to be adjustable just in case if I'm wearing a heavy coat and I want to make the strap longer, I can. I'm now top stitching the entire length of my folded strip, and I've just pressed it really well, and the fold is here, and I have my raw edges in. And since I'm actually using a matching thread, there's no sense in me using a really cool design, so I'm just using a wavy stitch that goes back and forth, and it creates like 4 or 5 stitches each way, and it'll reinforce the strap. So go ahead and pick a stitch and sew your strap. Step, you're going to need to cut 2 3-inch pieces from the strap you just top stitch and set the rest of the strap aside. You're going to need your zipper, which should be at least 7 inches long, and you're going to need one of the panels with the pocket sewn in place. So first, place your loops approximately 3/8 of an inch from the side on either side of the top of the purse. You're going to take your zipper with the zipper on the left side facing down and center it over the 2 pieces, and then you're going to take your lining fabric and place it over the top of the entire structure, and you're going to pin this in place, making sure those loops do not move, and we're going to sew across the entire front. Now you'll probably have to sew about 3/4 of the way. Put your needle down, lift your foot up, and move the zipper piece if it's a short zipper. Otherwise, if it's longer, just make sure the zipper mechanism is here and the extra length is on this side. Now I pinned from the bottom because I was able to catch the zipper and the tab, which is right here now. And sometimes it's a little helpful if you let it extend just a little beyond, you can see where it is. And now I'm going to take just a sewing machine and I will sew down the entire top piece right like that. Since I'm starting on this side, which is where the zipper mechanism is, I've actually pulled my zipper mechanism down just a little bit over here. And I'm going to just sew partially, and then I can close it so I can sew the rest. I am using the walking foot, as I said, and I'm going to sew close to the edge. And no, I am not using a zipper foot. Don't sew over your needle. You pin, excuse me. Okay, so I'm going to stop it. I'm going to bring my foot up, and I'm going to close my zipper. And I just moved my zipper up, and I'm going to continue. I just want to make sure I'm catching everything. Still got everything here. My extra piece of my zipper is here. Pull my pin out before I get too close. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the design board. I've sewn down here. Now what I'm going to do is open this up and turn this over and fold everything down this way. So now the wrong sides of the lining and the wrong side of the one piece of the purse are facing each other here, folded, and my little tabs that are spaced a little bit away from the edge, and my zipper is here. And look, if you look at the other side, there's the lining, there's your zipper. Before I go to the next step, I'm going to top stitch along here. When you top stitch, be sure to go back and forth over each of the corners where the tabs are to reinforce them so they don't pull out. Next, you will take the loop that you have, fold it back down on itself, and pin it to the top end of the opposite side of the zipper that was sewn. So I'm going to go ahead and take that, making sure you have your spacing again, and I'm going to pin this right here. And then I'm going to do the same to the other side. Now I'm going to move this zipper in only because it's in my way, but I still know I have to get it to this, and it actually makes it a little easier for me to pin. So I'm going to go ahead and just, actually, I think I'll do it this way. Maybe it'd be easier. The point is just so it doesn't slide on me. So I have them pinned to the top, see, and they're folded back. The loop is here. Now I'm going to take the other panel of the purse and turn it upside down and put right sides together. And this is where it's tricky. We're going to lay this down flat. And we're going to pin this to the top of this zipper, just like that. I went back and I pulled this pin out once I knew where that was aligned, and held them together and pinned them together to make it easier, and also so I had less likelihood of me sewing through that pin down below. So I think I'm going to do the same thing here. And in this case, it's a little bit easier because I did disengage it. You know, the zipper. So there. I'm going to have to be very careful to make sure this is down when I start sewing until I can put the zipper back. So once you have these two pieces pinned, you're going to flip your bag over. Just like that. And in this case, you do need to make sure this is open partially. And then you're going to put the last piece, which is your lining, on top, making sure it's attached and sewn to the pieces that you just pinned on the other side. So you have the lining on this side, and then you have the other pieces you pinned on the other, and you're going to sew the whole thing together along the top edge of the zipper. Okay? Before you start sewing, you want to make sure that the sides of the front and the back of the bag are lined up together, because if they're not, when you open it, you're going to have a very crooked bag. So let me just start this here, and I'm going to go very slow because I do have a pin that I can't get to. And I do want to backstitch the little loops, but I'm not going to do it now until I just get across once. See what happens? You have to be very careful. All right, so I'm going to put my needle down, do a few more. I have the zipper here I have to worry about. So I'm going to pull it a little bit closed more, just so I can get a little more of this in place and secure. Okay, that should be good. I'm going to pull that zipper down. There it is. Okay. All right, I got that all the way down. It wasn't so bad, right? All right, so just make sure I'm still lined up everywhere. Got my zipper. Oops. Okay, there's my fabric. There's the lining. I did that fast so I wouldn't lose it. Now I do have the pin. I don't want to have another escapade, so I'm going to, now I can pull that pin out, I think. Because I've got that, I've got this. Okay. And I am going to back stitch on this one. Now I'll go back over to the other side and back stitch over there as well. This is the second side we just sewed, and as you know, we had the lining on the one side and we had the other piece on the other. So now let's just flip it over. I'm going to fold this out. I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to fold this out, and look at that. Our zipper is in place perfectly. This is the inside of the bag, and here's the outside of the bag. And all we have to do now is top stitch across here. And look, our little loops are sticking out. See, if you did it correctly, here they are. And I'm going to top stitch right across here again, as I did on this side, and then we're going to put the bag together. The first thing you will do is unzip the zipper 2/3 of the way, because if you don't, when you sew it together, you will not be able to turn the bag around. We will fold it over, and you're going to match. Let's see if I'll fold it over, and you're going to match it up all the way around so that your zipper is actually at the top. Your loops can be out or in. As long as you don't sew them, you're fine. And the zipper is folded in half at the top. And you will pin all the way around. And again, making sure the sides of the bag line up. And in this case, most importantly, that the little loop is tucked in so you don't sew it together. You're going to start stitching here. You're going to back stitch a couple times. It's going to be very thick. And if I hadn't said it before, you should be using at least a denim needle, size 90 for this. You can use a leather needle if you want, but a real heavy-duty needle. Your thread is a 40 weight is what I'm using. And you're going to sew all the way around. And when you get to where the pockets are, you're going to back stitch again. It's thick, so go slow. Go all the way around, back stitch, and end up here and sew it together. I stitched all the way around and I back stitched as I said, but then I also decided to do a row of zigzag stitches all the way around just for reinforcement. If you have a serger, you can do that, but I don't even know if you can see, it's such a dark fabric. But here, there's a little spot. This is where some of the fusible had overlapped, but you can see. Now, if you've done that, you probably don't have to clip your corners too much, but if you have not, I would recommend you sew at least double stitches, row of stitches all the way around, just to reinforce it. And then you're going to go in and clip any of the little curves that appear to be larger than normal, you know, just to help it so when you turn it, you will be able to turn it easier and it will fit nicer. So I'm just going really gently here and just doing a little bit of clippy on the corners. So now you're going to be really grateful this zipper is open, because that's how you're going to turn it. And I'm actually going to try to open it a little bit more if I can, and then turn it right side out. And what I always find the easiest way to do it is get all the way to the corner. Now you have two pockets there, so make sure one pocket's on either side when you're trying to turn it. Push the corner in, grab it in your hand, and then carefully pull it through, and that will make it a lot easier to turn. Push your corners in really good so you can get those straps out. This is where it's important that you've sewn them in the right place, because then they'll come up over the bag just like that. And if you're going to use a sharp object, be real careful. I have punctured the fabric from time to time. And so other than now putting in the shoulder strap, we're pretty much done with the bag. And there you go. And we just need to attach the shoulder strap. One thing I neglected to mention is before you turn the bag, cut off the excess piece of your zipper. So that's what I did. And then obviously you turn it and there's less bulk here. So now we're ready to do the strap. So with the remaining strap that you created before from the loops, and you set the rest aside, the long piece, you're going to make your strap. And this is an adjustable strap. I'm just trying to get a thread. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to make a loop. All I did is lay the two pieces together. I folded it and I sewed zigzag across the loop. Okay, and we're going to place the loop through the one side of the bag, then thread the raw edge through the loop, which is the other side. I'm going to put it through this loop, and I'm going to pull on it. So you're going to take the raw edge part, and you're going to put it through the other loop. And then you're going to have to fold over this end and do a zigzag stitch to this one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you. So I've sewn the second piece in. And so now your one strap is here, and you can adjust it to any length you want. You could actually almost double it to make a long strap. And your crossbody bag with the double pockets, zipper, and lining, an adjustable strap is finished. So here is the finished crossbody bag, and it has the front pocket and a back pocket, and it has our little zipper, and I've chosen to recess it into the bag a little. If you want, you can leave it out for more decorative. You've got your zipper, it's fully lined, and we have our adjustable shoulder strap. So I hope you like it. Again, the pattern is available at Etsy. And please, if you're watching this video, you're on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks a lot and have a great day. Happy sewing.